and a resolution. There's a, I'm sorry, I can't find it right now. Anyway, there's an agreement that we have to, well, get my pages turned, folks. Okay, there's the non-union protective arrangement. It's just basically a business as usual type agreement that they're asking for.
This basically, this is we submit the application to receive federal dollars to operate the program, correct?
Right.
And part of the requirement now is that we have this resolution as well, or this agreement in place in order to receive that, is that correct?
Yes.
The question I have right there, it says, the Jackson County Commission entered into agreement with the state of Alabama acting by and through the Alabama Department of Transportation relating to public transportation with partial funding by the Federal Transit Administration for these years. All right, what if something come up, we don't have the funding to make it through all these 3 years?
The agreement's contingent upon us providing that funding,
Well,
correct?
so we still have the authority.
If we can't provide the funding, then they cut their funding.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. They won't sign something, we don't have the money to push it through, you know.
Yeah.
And that will be done on a yearly basis. We'll have to agree on a yearly basis as well.
By sending this in, of course, if we receive the grant, which we expect that this process will go smoothly, this just keeps it for the next 3 years we're eligible to receive those federal funds.
Yeah, I want to make sure it says a partial funded, so I don't want us to be in a spot where we sign something and not know.
Is it roughly 60-40, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
That's the partial.
Okay.
Any other questions on this? Okay, do we have a motion to proceed with this? Motion, do we have a second? Second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye. Any opposed say no. Next item, motion to approve the department head recommendation for vacant collector position with the sanitation department. We have the recommendation before us. Mr. Robinson, you have anything else on this?
We done interviews on these right here Friday before last, and we had 13 applicants, interviewed 7 of them, and this is the recommendation that we hiring committee agreed to.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments on this? Have a motion to proceed?
I'll make a motion to proceed with it.
I'll let him agree. Any motion to approve this, Mr. Sis, do we have a second?
Second motion.
Motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed say no. Okay. Next item, motion to approve the department recommendation for the vacant recycle tech position with sanitation department. Mr. Robinson, anything additional on this?
No, sir, on here we did have 16 applicants for it, and interviewed 6 of those.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept that, do we have a second?
A second.
Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye. I'm sorry. Okay. Carry that as.
Go discussion.
All right. Next item, motion to appoint members of the following boards for the Jackson County Healthcare Authority and the Department of Human Resources. We do have 2 boards. We have one here. The Department of Human Resources has just been vacated, so I think we're waiting on letters on that. Regarding the Jackson County Healthcare Authority, we have 3 openings. We have had 7 individuals apply, and we have also had 1 resignation. He has since asked, sent a letter to be reinstated, saying that he has some health concerns and those are now under control, and he would be willing and agreeable to get to serve back on the board. There are some new names on here that you did not see last week. We received some letters this week, so we can proceed with this however we would like to. We can open the floor for nominations, or we can take a further look at how we want to proceed.
Some of these letters, least one of them came in 2 days, and
Yeah, one of them did.
could we table the 2 spots until at least another, week or so to see if we get any more letters?
The three ones that are expiring, or?
Yeah, to table the expiring, and then however y'all wanna handle Brookshire's,
Okay. We can let's take this piece at a time then. You're saying to table the expiring terms until the next meeting, correct?
yes.
Okay. And if we do that, I would ask that we clarify, if we can clarify, that those continue to serve until the appointment. Would that be appropriate? Okay. So if we want to do that, then we'll entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion to table the 3 expiring terms until the next meeting with those individuals serving until an appointment has been made. Do we have a second?
A second.
Okay, discussion on that.
What day do we put in on there?
What's that?
What day, the 10th,
That'll be
second, the work session?
We can have the information on the second, yes, if we'd like.
Yes.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion? And this is another one that, we did have originally an end date on receiving letters. However, I don't think we had any of these letters in by that date, so it probably would be good to have further review of those.
Some of these people that I don't really know and they like that before having presentation.
So motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay, on the fourth appointment, he's been asked to be reinstated. We can either reinstate, open the board of nominations, or table this as well.
What was his reasoning for resignation? Was it health issues?
It was.
And when does his term expire?
It'll be next year.
Make the motion to reinstate him.
Motion to reinstate Brookshire. So motion and a second.
Second.
A motion and a second. Okay, any further discussion on this? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. All right. We're again looking for applications for the DHR board, so anyone that is interested in that board would please submit their letters. Okay. Next item, motion to approve the fiscal year 2018 annual budget. A copy of the budget will be placed in the minutes. You have a copy of the 2018 budget. Prior to the meeting, I think there was some discussion about the deficit that existed, and we were looking at the
Internet sales tax, or internet,
internet sales tax, and what was the other?
banking,
Financial institution.
Okay. It was brought up by Mr. Venable. After taking a look at those, that those were substantially as of August, correct, Mr. Manning?
Sure.
Those numbers were far advanced from where we anticipated them to be this year. So,
If I might just mention on the,
Yes.
on the sales tax from the internet, though, the state was paying those quarterly, so we only got paid at the first quarter in January, and then we got the second quarter in April. And then after that, the state had changed it where they would start paying us monthly, so we've been able to track it a little closer for the last few months, and it is a larger number. So
What number is that?
that's on the, SSU down at,
you need to hand us the new one. I
Yeah.
think.
and did replace we just printed those right before we come in, we made the change.
The copies you have in your packet are the
Over there.
look good.
Yes, and it's the 47050 down toward the bottom, SSUT.
Okay.
So you'll notice the total amount's a little bit higher on that. And the two items were financial institution institution excise tax, which is 44,130. And then the SSUT internet sales tax, 47,050. So based on the numbers that we were seeing this year, it looked like we were comfortable to move those up. And if everybody is in agreement, I think we can, this budget can be balanced if we approve those changes on this, on the revenues.
Make a motion to approve those changes
With the full budget.
with the full budget.
Okay, we have a motion to approve those changes and adopt the budget. Mr. Guffey, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Ms. Gilbert, any questions or comments on this?
Good catch, Mr. Bennett.
I would like to say that, every year we adopt the budget, and I'll say a little more, but every year we adopt this budget, and of course, we try our best to be conservative on our revenues and to do something that's realistic on our expenditures. This may be one of the tightest ones we've done. Now especially, we've brought that a little bit closer to what we think is realistic. We've tried to get it, and every year we try to get closer and closer to reality. We're never going to be 100% on, obviously. But the biggest part of this, of course, the work that our administrator does in looking in these revenues and seeing what we can do to increase revenues or bring in dollars that we may not otherwise be looking at. And on the expense side, what our department heads and our employees do to not spend those dollars just because they have them. The dollars they see is dollars that are going to be there next year if we don't spend them this year. And every year, I believe every year, we look at departments that have run under their total cost, whether it's a little bit or whether it's a lot more, because they've managed their dollars well. So when we pass these budgets, a lot of work goes into them from departments, from the commission, to try to get a number that's right on. But really, we would not continue to be able to do what we do and operate as we do if it weren't for the employees and the department heads that make these expenses stay, where they need to be. So I just wanted to say that, that's an important piece of why we're able to continue to do what we're doing. And if there are questions about the budget, it is somewhat substantially different from last year, but we can answer those questions for anyone that has questions afterwards. So, any other comments from the commissioners? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay. Next item is regarding motion to accept the resignation of Mr. Ashburn, where he residing, DMA Director, contingent upon his appointment by the governor to the position of the chairman of Jackson County Commission. We received a letter last Friday that he would be appointed as of October 1st, to serve in the role of chairman. So congratulations, God bless, good luck. You'll do that. And in order for him to accept that position, he has submitted his letter of resignation as the director of the DMA. So with that, Mr. Ashburn, do you have anything you'd like to share on that?
Is it all?
Okay. Do we have any questions or comments on this? Okay, do we have a motion to accept the resignation, his resignation as EMA Director? Motion and a second. They jumped on that.
I know
Take note.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay. The next item is regarding his eligibility to retire and his leave. And I'll let you read the motion regarding his sick leave. And this is consistent with prior practice of the commission to pay out the sick leave for those who assume elected office. So we'd like to consider a motion now to do that as has been done in the past. And this would be for half of any unused sick leave.
That's all. Mr. Porter's looked over that. Something's
Yes.
about.
Make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, Mr. Guffey. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second, any discussion? Motion and second, all in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. Motion and a second. Okay, that is passed. The next item is regarding a motion to appoint an interim EMA director. Due to the, this was somewhat sudden with the recent appointment, so I would like to ask that, so that we do not go for an extended period of time without an EMA director, I'd like to ask that we do a temporary or interim appointment for Mr. Jackson to serve in that position for not more than 90 days. Obviously, if more than 90 days is needed, the commission can extend that time frame. But to serve in that position for 90 days while we go through the process, the hiring process, and the interview process for a new EMA director. So we have any questions or comments on that? Or do we have a motion to approve the recommendations presented?
Make a motion.
Motion, do we have a second?
I'll say.
Motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed say no. Okay. The final item is regarding a increase for employees. This is something that we had discussed in some of our budget meetings. I know that it's something that maybe needs to be discussed further still. As I stated earlier, the county's financial condition is only a result of the work that our employees have done. If you take a look at your agenda and see that this is two sides stacked on one piece of paper, I mean, that's an effort to conserve. And while that's one small effort, these efforts are what happen daily through our departments to try to save dollars for this county so that we can be more efficient, be more productive with what we have. With the cuts we've seen and the changes we've seen, our employees have many of them stayed with us while we've been through this process, and we've not had the opportunity to really show them, in this way, how much we appreciate them. So for that, I'd like that the commission consider some type of increase for employees, whether it be one time or otherwise, to show them the appreciation that we have for continuing the process, doing the work for the people, really at their expense.
I'd be the first one to stand up and applaud our employees. They've done an excellent job, and I appreciate everything they do every day. And I know that they need to deserve a full-time raise, but I can't see how with only $20,000 to the good that we could do a full-time raise. So I would like to entertain doing a one-time pay raise if we're going, hopefully we can secure some more financing or more revenue streams or find a way. I fear the drop in our TVA in lieu of next year is going to push us way down into a bigger budget deficit next year if we take on an additional payroll obligation.
I agree totally, because if we go to something that we have to do year after year, I just don't see us committing to that right now, because the funds are not there. They're not gonna be coming in on a regular basis.
I agree with that. Like I said before, they gotta have incentive to stay, because public works, utilities and all, got better paying jobs. I'd like to see, maybe we could give them $500 each, a bonus for each employee, to show them that we do care. I know the funding is hard to look at right there, but it's hard to go out and replace employees and bring in another ones and train them when they decide, hey, this is not where I want to be.
So if we choose to do it, as you stated, from the cash and whatever the amount set, again, the only reason that cash remains at a level that it is because they've worked to conserve it. So I think it's appropriate to do that if we pull it from cash and not necessarily from the budget as a one-time.
So you're proposing $500 across the board for every employee?
Mayor, okay. Ma'am, okay. What's that?
I was seeing what his total was.
Okay.
237 employees, that was one.
No, 218. It'd be 109,000 for our cash. I recommend a slight increase in that number to help with the taxes.
I'm fixing to say, do we want to consider that 500 before taxes or after taxes?
Just after taxes.
So we're going to bump that up a little bit.
What would that figure out to when you figure it out
If we
to?
do $150,000, divide that by divide that by 218 employees, what would that be?
6 something.
50,000 divided by 218 employees, that would put $688 per employee.
And that would give, that would get.
It'd be a little over 5 times taxes probably, based upon their tax.
I'd like to go ahead and make a motion that we
If-
do $150,000.
Can you hold that for 1 second while I add a request for provision? Again, I think we should thank our employees, and we should thank our employees that have really, set this out. I'd like to ask that we put the provision that you must have served, this is for full-time employees only, that have been with us for 6 months or longer.
Yeah.
And if I could also recommend, we do have some, very few, just 2 or 3 part-time employees, some of the council on aging, I think one at the park, that have served us for a long time. I'd like to ask if we could put $150, in addition to that.
What about the temporary employees that we have, any of them been there for any duration of time? I know we've had a big turnover with temporary.
I have to look to speak to it exactly. We're probably in the 3 to 4 minute range, I would say, for long duration.
Could we say that any part-time or full-time temporary that has served longer than 6 months, would that be appropriate? And so any part,
Well, put it at a year, I mean, we've got the temporaries, I mean, I'm not against that.
what's that?
I mean, yeah, we have had several temporaries come on, I understand,
But I don't think we've had any there for over 3 or 4 months.
What you got there?
My temporary was the last one, it's the recycle ticket we just filled, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So your recommendation's 150,000,
Pay out the temporaries and then divide what's left by the number of full-time employees.
so part-time and full-time temps that have served longer than 6 months will receive $150,
Let's go 2.
200,
Then taxes after that would be about 150.
$200, and I think we have a handful of those. And then the remaining dollars will be split between any full-time employees with more than 6 months of service. Is that clear? More than.
What does that figure out taxes, anybody hit it right there, what it'd be before taxes?
You have to know how, have to know how many people.
I think we've got,
signed up.
yeah, council on aging is probably our largest with part-timers, but I wouldn't think we'd have over 10 at that.
It should come out a little over $500 per full-time employee.
Still should come out, because there's a little buffer at 150. Because there's not gonna be 188 on taxes.
I just feel like we
Unless
gotta have
Ryan's
something to keep
working
them,
on
I mean, I
the
know we
same
don't have the funding right there, but, that's all I've heard, we didn't get a 3%. And when they tell you, hey, I can go over to utilities, or I can go over here to some other thing,
Well, we can't do 3% with the money not
you know, that's
coming
what I
in.
told them, I said, well, it won't be no 3% increase, I can tell you that, if this right here goes along.
I think the cash decision is a smart decision because it is something that we've been able to maintain to this point, again, due to their efforts, and it is a one-time thing, so it's probably a better
A couple
route.
of windfalls from revenue streams. Over the last couple of years.
It's hard to make them big advancements, that's what I told several of them, I said, hey, when you sitting right there, it's hard to do that, but I understand where you're coming from also.
So do we want to make a motion with stating as we just discussed?
So I'll make that motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion second. Motion and a second, okay. Any further discussion on this? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Okay, that concludes the items on our agenda, so we'll move on to our reports. Chief Deputy?
Just let you know the sheriff's recovering well. He should be back to work tomorrow, hopefully, and I will be very happy. And I also want to welcome Mike, we're new interim commission chairman, and I want to say thank you to you for all your work and service throughout the years here. It's been an honor to serve with you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Mr. Robinson?
I also want to thank you, Tim, Mr. Potts, for your time and everything you've done for us, and Mr. Mike, welcome aboard also.
Ms. Thurman?
That's about all I have to say too. Thank you for everything that you have done for us at Council on Aging. We really appreciate how you've gone to bat for us and for the rest of the county. And I'm sure that Mike's going to follow in your footsteps to an extent. I appreciate you both.
Mr. Manning?
Same thing, it's just been a pleasure to work with you, for the past 4 years. And, look forward to still staying in touch with you. You've been good for the county, been a pleasure to work with you.
Absolutely.
And,
You guys hear me?
welcome aboard. Your work's cut out for you. But we'll help.
I didn't have lunch at 3:45 today.
We'll help all we can. Thank you.
Mr. Campbell?
Good luck, sir. Thank you for everything you've done for us. Thank you, commissioners, for finding a way when there really wasn't a way to do what you've done with this year's budget. So I appreciate it. I know the employees do. And I hope they see and understand how hard you guys work to struggle to put things together for them. So, Mr. Hodges, good luck going forward with the mission. Congratulations, Mr. Ashton. We look forward to working with you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Barnes?
Been nice working with you. Hope you do good in your future endeavors, and just like Mike, wish Mike could, hope he can, his phone don't blow up. But, the 26A permit that we've been waiting on for, 6 months, the restaurant, it finally came in today. So he's supposed to be sending, a hard copy to, Sharon. And I've got a hard copy printed at the office, so finally, and that's the building text on the back. Now it's in order.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Porter?
I just have one thing to say. The chairman says quite so often, God bless us every week.
Mr. Ashburn?
Well, I appreciate everything you've done in the county. Most people don't know some of the things that you have done. In regards to you helping the EMA, you went out, you went the extra mile. You were down in the basement on Christmas 2015 during the flooding. You were down there instead of with your family. And during the Rosalie tornadoes, you was out there in the middle of the pouring down rain that a lot of people don't know. And that didn't go unseen. And another tornado, you went out with the weather service. Things that a lot of people wouldn't do, you did. And we take note of it and make aware to everybody that'll hear us. And Commission, I appreciate everything y'all have done. Bob, I know what deficit was 2 years ago. I didn't think it would be as painful this quick. Get it down to about the budget. So y'all done an outstanding job, and I appreciate it. And I look forward to working with you. I know it's a hard job, but I feel like I'm leaving a hard job. So thanks for your support.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Daniel?
I just like to say, it's not only been an honor, but a pleasure to serve with you. And over the last 5 years, I know we started out where I didn't know you. We were on different sides of the political aisle. But I never questioned where your heart was, and you've always been honest with me and tried to do what was right for the citizens of Jackson County. I appreciate you, and I wish you luck.
Thank you. Mr. Fisk?
In a short time, Matthew, but been a pleasure working with you right there. We've seen some things change since Melinda came on, and I let you three kind of give us some guidance and things as we went through. Like I told you before, I realized that you had to make a decision to make, and anybody that's trying to take care of the family, that's what's got to be done, the choice. The decision you make to resign and move on to this, I think you left with a good name on it, and I wish you the best. And as far as Mike coming on, like I said, I feel like he's done a great job. And I told him earlier I knew he was okay because his name was Mike. You know, I didn't know him. But you know, I feel like we can turn this thing around. It's some decisions that's hard to make sitting right here at this table, and you know, you go out, everybody tells you how you gonna do this and how you do that. But wish both of you the best, and we'll just see if we can make everything positive for people in Jackson County.
Thanks, sir. Ms. Gilbert?
Well, we have 2 mics and 2 sis on up here now. Anyway, welcome aboard, Mike. Looking forward to working with you. And for you, sir. Thanks for all the hand holding. Seriously. Seriously, you made me cry. But thanks for everything.
Thank you. Mr. Guthrie?
Well, you got a long tour to go, but 5 years ago, when we stepped into it, I just, to be honest with you, I didn't think we was gonna dig out of it. I mean, it was bad, but appreciate everything you've done. I never thought we'd be close friends, so we turned out to be, so I appreciate you. Gonna miss you a lot. So, but I'll always be here if you need anything.
Thank you, sir.
One more thing, you better warn him.
Better warn him.
Yeah, my blunt sense of humor.
My collarbone's on that.
It's better than what Tim calls me.
This is my last time to adjourn the meeting, so I may cry in doing so. I didn't anticipate doing so, but when you know, I love what I do. I love this job. I love the people of this county. I love the employees of this county, and it has been an absolute honor to be able to serve in the last 5 years. And I really do appreciate every single person that I've been able to work with, every citizen, you know, all the citizens, the ones that we consider sometimes maybe a little bit far off. But they teach us something. They bring something to the table, and that's what this is all about. It's about, you know, everybody coming together, working on something, taking a $1.7 million deficit and working through the constant drops in revenue and coming up with something where we're able to have a balanced budget 5 years later. And that work is because of everybody that's been involved. And again, I could not ask for, would not want to trade the experience for anything in the world. I want to say that I will be available to Mike. I'll be available to anyone, anything that I can do to assist, any way that I can participate. You know, as a citizen of this county, it's all of our responsibilities to participate, to serve, and I hope that in one way or another that I will continue to do that, and that we'll continue our friendships that we've built over this time frame. And Mike, you do, it is a difficult job. I'm confident you can do it, and I know that you want to. You want to do a good job, and that's what we need. That's why we've succeeded at this point, is because we have wanted to do a good job. We have wanted to do what's right for the citizens of this county, and that doesn't mean we don't make mistakes. That doesn't mean that we think maybe we should have done things differently at times, but it means that when we make those decisions, we can look ourselves in the mirror at night, and we can come back the next day, and we can do whatever we've got to do next. And that's what has made this commission so strong and working together, is that we can do that. And I know that you'll do the same thing. So I'm very proud that you are able to continue that for the next year. Again, I just want to tell everybody thank you. I'll never be able to thank you enough for the experience that you've given me and the experience you give to my family. This little guy right here has been here pretty much since the beginning. He was born the day that we were supposed to qualify for election. So he's got good experience for 5 years. He's ready to go home now. But it's really brought a lot to my family as well. So I'll shut up now and thank you one last time for what you've given. And for the last time, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
I regretfully make a motion to adjourn.
Motion, do we have a second? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no.